Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is having a good New Year's so far. I'm Kyle Konkiel, bass player for the band Badwolves, and I'm here to just jam a little bit today. Answer some questions, anything you guys might have. Go over some of my techniques that I use in the band. And yeah, answer some questions and whatnot. So, all right. Again, if you're just joining, it's your boy, Kyle Konkiel from the band Badwolves. I'm going to be playing some stuff here in a second, just making sure everything is going through all right. All right. Well, let's get started here. If you can, ask questions when I'm not playing, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. So, all right, here we go. right. Thank you guys for joining. I'm going to see if I can see some comments here. I can't see any. Oh, there we go. I just have to mute it. Anyway. Ah, there we go. Yay. Sick. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining me. You want to hear a clean neck pickup? Well, on the D-Rock, there is no just neck pickup, I don't believe. Oh, okay. Have you ever thought about getting a custom afterburner? You know what? I have, but I'm really into the import models right now. I've been using this D-Rock standard. I've got 2 of them that I've been using for the past couple of years, and my combustions as well. And honestly, like, they're workhorse bases, and I wouldn't want to really bring such an expensive instrument out on the road. So if I did get a custom Canadian made afterburner, I would be scared that I would like ding it or something, you know? Oh, we got Jacob Umansky, we got Ivan Karen. Oh God, I suck at saying your last name. I'm so sorry. We got Ivan Carranza. God, I'm terrible. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Ivan, for all the kind words. What is the name of your band? Much love from Brazil, bro. Name of the band is Badwolves. My name is Kyle Konkiel. I am the resident bass player. We got my boy John Matos from Abiotic. We got Bobby Fernandez. Thank you guys for coming. The tuning I am currently using right now, and is the main tuning for Badwolves, is Open G. So all of my basses that I use for touring are tuned to Open G. G, C, G, C. And on my 5 strings, it's G, C, G, C, G. Yeah. Right now, I am using the Dingwall strings on this. It's I believe a custom 174.174 for the low G and the 130 nickel set. So, all right. I know, it might be early or late for some people to hear some metal, but Happy New Year's, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And that last song I played was called Learn to Live. This next one is called Jesus Slaves. I know I did this. I did a video for Dingwall, and I played this song. So I actually wanted to, on the former D-Rock, I guess it was the D-Bird basses, but a lot of people didn't think that how I played that song was actually how I play it, but it is. So, yeah, here's Jesus Slaves.
Full
All right. That's a real forearm burner considering we haven't played a show in almost a year. Ivan, pretty cool that I can hear even the low G string through my iPhone speakers. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, you know, you can... one of the main parts of that is the perfect fan fret Novak system that Dingwall started incorporating into their basses. I really think you can tune low with parallel fret basses, but I don't really recommend it. With the Dingwall basses, I get consistent piano tone throughout the entire bass, because I know with a lot of 5-string basses, the low string can be a little bit more beefy than the rest of the guitar. And when your tuning is low, I don't need any extra beef. When I'm tuning to, like, you know, in this band, I tuned to G. When I played with Devin Townsend, I was tuning to open G and open F sharp, you know, keeping that octave relationship between the guitars and the bass. I really think that, you know, having the right set of strings at the right gauge, having a Dingwall bass, boom, low tune glory. We got a question here from Patrick O'Connell. Is that the Dark Glass preamp? What do you use for effects? Actually, for this, I am using the FabFilter Saturn 2, and I'm running that through Logic. And I have, it's a pretty complicated effect signal processing. It's got 2 compressors, 2 EQs. Don't get me wrong, I love the Dark Glass stuff. I use all the Dark Glass stuff live. But another thing I wanted to talk about was when I'm playing, a lot of people go for super distorted tones. And don't get me wrong, I have a pretty distorted tone as well. But I feel like the bass grabs onto the guitars a lot more when you have a really good clean low end, you know, which you can achieve with the Dark Glass Ultra Series, you know, their new Atom pedals, the Parallax plugin and stuff like that. I've just been using the FabFilter Saturn on my computer for longer, so I'm just used to it. But yeah, my settings are a little weird because I boost a lot of the low end and the top end. I guess if I could put 3 bass players together where I get my inspiration for my tone, I guess it would have to be Fieldy from Korn, which might be a surprise to some of you. A lot of people hate on Fieldy's tone, the mid scoop. Dan Kinney from Suicide Silence and Billy Gould from Faith No More. I really feel like their bass relationships with the guitars in those bands are exactly where they need to be. You know, I do lows. I have a nice top end. And typically, when you're down tuning as low as we do, there's really not a lot of room for the mid-range for the bass. And typically, you know, frequencies like 250 can really muddy up your tone, in my opinion. You know, and 500 I keep just under flat. 1.5 is about where the same as 500 is. You know, I'll do maybe like a 3K, boost the 3K, and whatever the high end shelf might be, 5K, 5.5K. I typically will boost that. But let's go through a couple more comments and questions here. Hello, Nicole. I tried putting BED on my PVG bass, and the intonation was always messed up. Yeah, like I said, parallel frets can have their issues, but I don't know if you did that yourself, but if you're gonna down tune anything, you want to make sure that you have the right string tension. And you know, I have a couple of parallel fret basses. I won't name any, you know, stuff from older times that I have tuned down to A, and the low string is just too beefy. So, what else? More mid than bass? No, it's actually the exact opposite. More bass, more treble, less mid. I'll give you guys a little bit of an example of the tone I'm using for this. This is similar to the tone that I use live, but not quite. I didn't put any cab simulators or anything on this. This is literally just the FabFilter Saturn 2 plugin running on its own. So this is the C string. But yeah, we'll get into some other stuff here. I'm gonna play some. I think I'm gonna play some newer stuff here. What do we got here? All right. This song is called "Foe or Friend." Distracted. My noise gate's gonna cut out this part, just letting you guys know.
I can't wait. I'm gonna put a bullet right through your fucking head. Your days on this earth are over. I tried to kill you the first time. I will not fail again. I will not fail. As God is my fucking witness, I will not fail again.
All right. Song's called "Foe or Friend." That's off our newest record, Nation. I'm going to go through some comments, answer some questions in between these. Daniel Williams, Ryan Martini tunes his 34-inch thumb to F and lets the mids sing through LD50. So what you were saying works for you and Dingwall, but not for everybody. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. What works for me might not work for everybody else. But the thing I do know is picking frequencies for your bands. My guitar players lie in the low mid to high mid ranges. So me being in that same frequency would just come across muddy live. Now, Greg from Mudvayne, he has more of a mid-scoop guitar tone himself. So where Ryan Martini lives is in that mid-range area. And, you know, back in those days, I don't know if he was actually I mean, I could text Ryan and ask him if he was actually tuning down to F, but he could have been tuning up as well. But yeah, this is just my personal preference and what I think works best for me and in my situation. I know that there's a lot of dudes who like to boost the mids, and that's cool. But, you know, there's a lot of tone hating going on when it comes to like, oh, don't scoop the mids. Hey, if mids works for you, great. But you also got to put yourself in a frequency spectrum that works for you and your band. Now, just because you created a tone and you liked it doesn't mean it's going to work in a live setting. Now, I've gone over with this with my guitar player, Doc. I mean, since we started rehearsing before Badwolves have ever toured. And he basically said, he's like, hey, you're kind of in our same frequency range, is kind of coming across off muddy. Let's try something else. So I think having an open mind about your bass tone and, you know, talking with your bandmates or people that you're jamming with is also a really good thing to kind of figure out where in the tonal spectrum you live. What is my current chain? Right now, well, let me see. What do I got running on this one? I am running a noise gate, the Fab Filter Saturn 2, 2 EQ channels, and two compressors into Logic. Actually, I have one of the very first combustion Amethyst Burst basses. It has I think it's I forget what top it has, but yeah, it looks a little bit different, and yeah, it's a great bass. I love my combustions. It's actually back there somewhere. And yes, Patrick O'Connell, you need a Dingwall. Several of them. Several. And Dylan Lee, thank you. All right. What else are we going to do? We're going to some slappy stuff. We're going to do some heavy stuff. Which comps are you using? I'm currently just using the standard ones in Logic. I'm using... I have a vintage VCA compressor for one, and a Studio FET for the other. That's it. That's what I'm using. All right, let's see here. What are we gonna do? I guess we'll do the last slappy one. All right. That song was called Shapeshifter. I've called it by its working title pretty much since we started playing. But the working title was called Spumoni. But yeah. All right. What do you run for a live performance? Typically, well, my setup always changes. Like, I don't think I went on one tour without changing my setup. I'll just go with what I used on the last tour and what I'm going to be building for hopefully some touring coming up. So the last tour, I had a Sennheiser wireless, my D-Rock basses. This was in Europe with Five Finger Death Punch and Megadeth. So I'd have my bass, go to the wireless to EBS multi-comp pedal into Korg tuner into the EBS multi-comp, and then that multi-comp would run into a Voodoo Labs hex switch, which then would run out to 3 separate pedals. The first pedal was a Sansamp Bass Driver DI. The second pedal was a Darkglass B7K. And the third pedal was the Darkglass X7. And then that would go to a little MIDI switcher that I would have in front of my mic stand. And I would switch between clean tone, which is what I used the Sansamp for, kind of like the old school. I would use it for our radio songs. So like, Zombie, Hear Me Now, and a couple of other songs that I needed really kind of super scooped mids, over the top bass, like almost like I was playing with flat wounds. Is kind of the tone I was going for on those songs. A little bit of clank, so I would kind of boost the presence knob a little bit. But yeah, and then that would run into a depending on what I was using it for. Either that would run into a Darkglass AO900 and out the DI with the cab sim. I think I was using the Forced Punchy. And that would go to front of house. No cabs on stage, but typically if I am using cabs, I'm using EBS Proline A10s. And yeah, that's basically my setup. And then what I'm doing now is I'm waiting for a couple of things, the Atom and the Quad Cortex. And I'm going to be building 2 rigs out of those. The Atom is going to be like a super minimal rig. It's just going to be the Origin Effects bass compressor going into the Atom. Boom, rig complete, and a tuner as well. And then the Quad Cortex is literally just going to be Quad Cortex, wireless, and that's what I'm planning on using for my touring rig. And that's literally going to be it. So, yeah. Cool slap line in that finger style pass. Oh, thank you very much, Ivan. What does this one say? But cannot see as you pick this slap again. Oh, thank you. But yeah, all right, cool. We're gonna get into another song. I haven't decided what I'm gonna play yet. I have this set list on Spotify here, and I think we'll just go with something heavy and groovy. So the song's called "Toast to Ghost." The longest intro ever. I think I start playing around like the 40-second mark. Let's see if I messed this part up or not. Always do. Unless I'm playing live, because then I have the click in my ear. Oh, early. Yay. Yay. I was a little early on that last little breakdown thing. Always happens. Always happens. Damn boy, is she thick. Oh, that's hilarious. I saw something that I wanted to comment on during this. Did it disappear? I don't know. Love that tone. Love that sick tone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Great way to walk into the new year, Kyle and Dingwall. Well, thank you, Pineapple. Appreciate that. Great stuff, Kyle. Happy New Year. Forrest Carter, my boy. Thank you for joining me. We got a couple dope bass boys hanging out on this, and I love it. I saw Jacob earlier. We got Ivan Carenza. I think I pronounced that terribly. Love the clank, but still the chug. Hard to have both at the same time. Awesome. You're probably hearing a little bit more clank than normal because of the microphone. Like, here, let me turn it down. So you're probably hearing a lot more clank than you would if this microphone wasn't on the whole time. But yeah, I still got some clank in the tone there. Favorite pickup configuration. So with the D-Rocks, I run the rotary selector all the way forward. So I have the single and middle in parallel with the neck pickup. Excuse me, with the neck pickup in series. And that's typically how I run all of the 3 pickup combustions. My D-Rocks. If I'm using a 2 pickup, then I will typically just run both pickups in series. That's kind of been my favorite, is using the pickups in series there. Just, it gives you a lot of, I don't know exactly where it is on the tonal spectrum, but it's like in between like 80 and 120 hertz boost, which I like. Some people might not, but I enjoy it very much. Are you going to use the combustion with the Nordstrand? So actually right now, that bass is, I've been doing bass lessons. Yeah, not teaching. I've been getting bass lessons from Mr. Jacob Umansky. And that has been the bass that I've been learning most of my stuff on, and that's actually in standard tuning right now. And being the band that we are, we actually don't have anything in standard tuning. I don't think. No, we have nothing in standard. So yeah, I love purple. Purple's been my color. This is kind of like, it shifts between purple and blue. I really enjoy that. This is like, don't get me wrong, I love all my Dingwall basses, but I'm very partial to this one. It just always sounds good, and it's never given me any problems whatsoever. It's a great bass, and I love it. And I really appreciate Dingwall having me on here. I'm going to do a few more songs. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask when I'm not playing, or, you can while I'm playing if something comes up, and then I'll just try to find it again. But what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? We'll do this one. This was the first single. Oh, I got an angry react. Why did I get an angry react? This is the first single off of our newest record. It's It's called I'll Be There. Lots of slidey stuff for those who like bass slides as much as I do.
is unpredictable. There's something inexplicable when we get back up. I'm coming up. That's okay. Now getting up. This is where don't be scared. Step by step, I'll be there. I'm coming up. That's okay. Now getting up. This is where don't be scared. Step by step, I'll be there. This life is unpredictable. There's something inexplicable. We get back up. I'm coming up. That's okay. Now getting up. This is where don't be scared. Step by step, I'll be there. I'm coming up. That's okay. Now getting up. This is where don't be scared. Step by step, I'll be there.
Yeah. Why does everybody want to text me when I'm doing stuff? I'm going to throw my phone over there. That's been distracting. Standard Badwolves tuning for you. It is. I mentioned this earlier, but in case you're just joining, first of all, hello. Second of all, I'm Kyle Konkiel, bass player for the band Badwolves. Been a Dingwall endorsee since, I don't even know. I bought my first Dingwall in 2014. Was the last of the square two pickup combustions, and it was the Blackburst one, and and I've been using Dingwall pretty much ever since. But standard Badwolves tuning for me is Open G, so similar to Devin Townsend. I tune to Open G, G C G C G on the 5 strings, G C G C on the 4 strings, but the boys, Chris Kane and Doc Coyle, They actually have 3 different tunings that they use. So I typically will keep my bass in one tuning, so I'm not all over the place with tunings. But they use drop C with a low G on a 7-string. Another open G tuning, I think it's GC, 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 F. And then they use the Great Southern Trendkill tuning, which is like an octave tuning, on a 6-string baritone, which is GGC FAD. So they have G, kind of like, I know Mastodon uses a similar tuning, like the AAD tuning. But yeah, it's Great Southern Trendkill, where that tuning came from. But I would have never guessed there were so many slides. There are a lot of slides. I do a lot of slides. When you got that beefy low end, slides just kind of, they feel real good, especially live. So now that is a crunchy sounding bass. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah, we got time for a couple more. What do I want to play? I don't even know what I want to play. We got a couple. What kind of pedals do you use? I'm not using any pedals right now. I'm using Fab Filter Saturn into Logic. I play strictly with my fingers, and I'm very percussive. Would you go more bass or mids to balance? I mean, you know, I actually, that's what I wanted to talk about before I started playing again, was the techniques that I use. So I use a lot of different, some of them aren't great technique. Like, I don't have great technique, which is why I'm, you know, taking lessons right now. But I try to get, you know, and then when I play with my fingers, I try to get it as close to sounding as possible. It's all on how you hit it. You know, for me, I don't know what your band situation is, where your guitar players are lying. Typically for low tuning, and this is my experience in the 7 to 8 years I've been tuning to sub-octave bass, anywhere from, you know, drop A to drop E, like octave below. You know, typically, for me, mids don't really work that well. Like, I love having a parametric EQ section where I can cut out a lot of that low mid. Because again, you know, I know I'm probably repeating myself, but 250 hertz and low tune bass and distortion does not go well with me. It could just be my finger tone, but me and 250 don't get along very well. Now 500, cool. I still keep 500 in. I don't really cut that out. I just, you know, a little down from flat. 750 is probably where 500 is. 1.5 I boost a little bit, and then anywhere from 3 to 5K I boost as well. And you know, 80 hertz is a good one to boost if you want that low. 120 hertz is I typically like to keep 120 around flat, maybe boost a little bit, but I prefer a low shelf to kind of where anywhere between, you know, 80 and 100 hertz, where I'm getting all my low end. That's where I like it. All right, let's see, what do we got here? All right, Jacob, if you're still watching, don't judge me, Mr. Jacob Umansky. The song is called Back in the Days.
So sick of the color TV. Leave a message, nigga, never find me. I'm so bored, I'm torn. Drive away, got the guts on the dashboard. In my head, you know I never sleep. Thinking black diamonds on a rosary. I'm so bored, I'm torn. Numbers up, wake me up, where's my passport? Searching 'cause I want more. Searching 'cause I want more. Take me back to 94. I'll rewind to the time. I've seen your faces.
All right. A little run there was a little sloppy, but you know what? I'm doing the best I can right now. Appreciate all the great advice. Trying hard to lock in a great bass sound. Very helpful. Awesome bass. Thank you very much, Patrick. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. At what frequencies are you setting the crossover on FabFilter Saturn? I usually go for like 300 hertz-ish. You know what? I have 5 different frequency splits on FabFilter Saturn. And, Ivan, since I know you, I will send it to you if... Oh, wait. If you're not using Logic, it won't work. But I will send you my patch. Oh, geez. Don't want to do that. But yeah, if you're using Logic, I can send you the Badwolves patch that I'm using here. But if not, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to do one more song here. And, yeah. Do one more. Do one more for the peeps. For the peeps. And then, yeah, like I said, if you guys have any more questions, concerns, I'm pretty much an open book. You can hit me up on social media. You can follow me on my Instagram or Twitter at KS Konkiel, KSKONKIEL. You can also check out my podcast if you want, just STFU Podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you stream your podcast, it's probably there. And if you guys want, I have a whole bunch of guitar picks on my store. You get like some Airbender picks, some Baby Yoda picks, and that is kylekonkiel.bigcartel.com. But if you find me on the internet, I have a little link thing in the bio where you can find all that stuff. So I'm going to do one more song and do a couple more questions, and then I'm going to be out. So if you got anything good that you want to say or ask, do now. This song is called The Consumerist. More slides for Ivan. All right. That was the Consumerist. Yeah. So, thank you guys again for joining. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to answer some last questions here. Yes, there's lots of... Actually, there's one thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'll go through your comments and questions here. I've noticed, like, themes for the bass on Disobey and Nation. So, like, the theme for Disobey was, like, super percussive, lots of slap, lots of groove, and then the theme for Nation seemed to be like palm muting. I do a lot of palm muting on that record, and a lot of bass slides. I don't know. It just sounds good, feels good. Everyone likes doing bass slides. So imagine having a record where you just do bass slides all year long. Nickel or stainless? Actually, right now these are nickel, but because of Mr. Jacob Umansky, I have some stainless steels on my standard tune 5-string combustion, and I'm actually really enjoying them. And the Dingwall stainless steel strings actually last a bit longer than your typical stainless steel. Because my problem with stainless steel is when you put them on, they're great. They have all the attack, all that top end, everything you want for metal bass playing. They rip up your fingers a little bit, but especially with all them slideys I'm doing. But I noticed, and they die quick. But I've noticed with the Dingwall stainless steel strings, they don't die as quick, and they keep that nice fuzzy top end for much longer. Now, with a typical set of Dingwall nickel strings, if I'm playing a 30 to 45 minute set, I can go about 4 to 6 shows before I have to change my strings. Now, if I was using other brands, I was going, every other show having to change strings. Now, I don't know how that works with the stainless steel ones because I haven't toured with them yet. But once I do, I'll let you know how long it takes till I have to change them again. Ivan, definitely need a D-Rock in my life. Thanks to Dingwall and Kyle for doing this. Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I really appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with me. All of your questions and comments, I really do appreciate it. I know this year has been kind of a train wreck, so I hope that 2021 brings you guys some luck, some fortune, and some love. Again, my name is Kyle Konkiel. Play for the band Badwolves. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KSKonkiel. Or just look up Kyle Konkiel. Or just look up Badwolves. You can find me there too. But I hope you guys have a happy new year. And I hope you guys stay safe. And if you do have some adult beverages, don't drive. If you're going to get some food, you don't need to go through the drive-thru. Just get Postmates or Uber Eats or DoorDash or Deliveroo, wherever in the world you are. So, thank you guys again, and I will see you next year.